the students at the college were striking, and then they burned down the offices. And it came to my attention that sometimes we have to resort to drastic measures in order to be heard.
When you're at varsity or colleges out there, you don't only go there for you, also represent your family.
Family, there's a lot of pressure.
There's a lot of pressure.
So we'd have like development chips
That was
with
your broke me.
yes, weekly.
Development chips of your broke me. Do you know someone's dinner? Someone's dinner at some point. You said that's your broke meal.
It was.
Some people have it soft out here, guys. They have it soft. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another episode of our Safe Space podcast. And I'm your boy Pamela, but you can call me Pimzai, and I ain't alone. I got my co-pilot here with me.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode. My name is Ntabilen, also known as Ntabi.
So today's episode, guys, we're gonna dive into, tertiary life, the struggles of succeeding tertiary, and the pressure that comes in obtaining your degree, honor, your master, just the struggle that goes into all of that. So we're gonna unpack it. If you are in this situation or you know someone is in this situation, man, this is for you. And we're about to do this, so let's go.
Yeah.
So tertiary life.
Like tertiary life, as you talk about it, like when you were talking, I was just thinking about when I started university. Oh my god, studying uni is just like it was a lot for me personally. I had to go into this. So I moved to a different city. So I went to a different city, had to meet new people, make new friends from scratch. And also I'm an introvert, so it was quite difficult for me to meet new people, be in different spaces with new people with different accents, people with different backgrounds, people who it was just a lot, so I had to learn how to make friends, how to gel. And I also personally, that's when I also learned that I actually had social anxiety. I wasn't aware of this when I was in high school, but moving to a new environment with different people just showed me that actually I have this thing called social anxiety.
Especially when you move to a different city, it's definitely like starting your life over. It's like almost like your life is starting from scratch. You have to learn new friends, new people, new place, you understand, new culture. Even the place itself, you have to learn the place. You have to navigate yourself around the place and around the city that you're in. So it is like a new start to life. It's not as glamorous as it sounds sometimes also, because that's the upside and the downside of it. For me, the upside is like meeting new people, different cultures, different types, different races, different genders, different people, it's for me, that's the upside of it, like just meeting all these different people and being in the same space, all of us together. It's one of the nicest part. The downside of it, financial aid. What's your take on financial aid?
Financial aid, that's a difficult one also, because I feel like with us when it comes to okay, so most people I know that are funded by NSFAS, right? So most of them are excluded, or most of them are. Sometimes they're like just registering or getting to NSFAS takes such a long time.
The process takes a long time.
Exactly. People don't register on time because they don't know if they've been accepted or what. They don't know what their status is because it takes long. And also recently there was the students at the college were striking, and then they burned down the offices. And it came to my attention that sometimes we have to resort to drastic measures in order to be heard. You can cry and you can complain, you can, be without finance or financial aid for so long, and then nobody hears you or takes you seriously until you go and burn down the officers. I'm not saying what they did was right. I'm not condoning it, but I'm saying they had to resort to drastic measures in order for them to be heard.
Someone once told me this, it seems like for us as Black people in this country, the only time we get taken serious, or the only time the people see that they're really, really serious, is that when there's smoke in the air, tires have to burn in the street, things have to be broken down, the economy has to shut down, like shops have to close, like all this different stuff. I feel like that's the only time they actually take people serious. And I don't know why, but it's been like that for years, the only time that people actually get taken serious is when they actually do something drastic, like you just said. So for me, all of it, like financial aid is something that is very, very sensitive to most people, because I know of people who went to school and who wasn't even, like you said, the process takes long. Some were not even aware that they were never funded. Some were never aware that the monies was never allocated for them. Now they have this huge debt. What is your take also on student debt, like, and how can students actually save themselves from falling into it, like, and being a victim of student debt? Because I know a lot of people who are in student debt right now.
When it comes to how can they save themselves, I'm not really sure, because I also have no people who are like in
In
student
that
debt.
same
Yes,
situation.
yeah, who don't have the like even I feel like also student debt kind of like it follows you, right? You can be in university,
It is
start there, get your degree, and then afterwards it follows you afterwards.
afterwards.
You can get a job,
Job.
or you maybe graduating, you don't get a job, you're unemployed, but it's still you'll be sitting there at home with your degree or without like the physical proof
Of it, yeah.
but you still have it tied to your name.
And that's the other
Yeah.
thing. Speaking of it, like, also the other hard thing it is that also contribute to the unemployment is that some of them have these degrees and they have this, but they don't actually have the physical degree. You understand? Some of them don't even have even proof of it at all. You understand? That also because of this debt that they have to pay the debt first in order for them to be given, or for them to have access to their degrees or whatever accomplishment that they have achieved. So like I feel like that thing also in like it also contributes to holding them back, to being unemployed. Now they have to look for odd jobs. They cannot actually apply also. Now you imagine sitting with a degree in of being a financial something, or like just
can be
like
an accountant,
accountant or something, like can be a doctor. But then you cannot actually apply for your dream job because you don't have your
degree, like you
you
don't have
understand?
physical.
You don't have it now. You have to work like odd jobs, and you have to take these jobs. But and at the end of the day, you have to, because you need that financial freedom. Financial freedom is also something that a lot of people are struggling with. So I really feel for people who are in a tight space when it comes to financial aid, and then not having all these funds allocated. And like when I sit and think about it, sometimes I wonder like who is to blame for all of that, and how can like students actually be helped, or how can they help themselves? Like sometimes I just sit and think about it, and it really puzzles me, because like how can someone do all the right things and then still end up being in such a bad spot? Do you understand? It just doesn't make sense. So I don't know what's your take on it.
I don't know if you've seen, like, I know of, like, I won't name the influencer, but he also had this campaign where, like, he would ask for donations from people, and then they take that money and then they help students who are in debt. So there are things like that also, and people resort to like go fund me. People do that. People ask for donations like online so they can be helped. Maybe that's something also other people can do and try, but it also won't work if you don't have that much influence. But I feel like, yeah, if you just post it, people might just see it.
Also, like, also besides the financial stuff, also there's also pressure from the workload that comes to being in tertiary. Like the workload, like the pressure of having to do an assignment today. Tomorrow, one of the assignments that you have to do is also due, or that same day you have two assignments due. Like also the pressure that comes to having to work, like the work rate in tertiary. How was your experience when you were in university?
So for me, it was difficult also because I learned that there's your personal life, and then there's your academic life. So you need to make sure that they balance. They say you work hard and play hard and stuff like that. Most of the time,
There are
I
people who
didn't.
work hard and then they play harder. Some students
Exactly,
play harder.
exactly. And for me, it was a thing of I couldn't play hard and work hard. I was always working hard and then playing sometimes. So it was like,
So you never were one of those people who like when you sit and
no,
think about it at home, like
I neglected the fun side of life. I
my
neglected
time there in uni. So
yeah.
you're not one of those people.
I'm not one of those people, but I had fun, but only after I got
You had responsible fun.
Yes, we can call it responsible fun. We can call it
Guys,
that.
you guys will let us know, is that fun?
It's
Because
responsible
we
fun.
know how like
It's nice to
we
go
know
out
how
when
they
you have
do.
like what do you call deadlines. Were you one of those students who went out when they have deadlines? So like they know it's Friday and Monday you have an assignment, or Tuesday it is. Wow, you were living like the risky life.
Can you know more risky? I didn't like, no, it was not always like that also. I was also one of those like, I gotta play hard, I gotta work hard, but at some point, you just have to,
remember to love
you have to
yourself.
come to yourself, like you have to succumb to yourself and be like, you have to talk to yourself and be like, right now I have to focus on my academics. Right now I have to do what needs to be done, and then when I'm done here, I'm gonna play. I can play. You understand? But there are times whereby sometimes we play too hard, man, and then we like, I you know, I have it due on Monday. I'm like, I still got Sunday, you understand? And then Sunday,
Procrastination.
Sunday you got this massive hangover. You cannot even get out of bed probably. Like now you have to work again. You have to like. So there are students
Who
who
do that?
do that.
But what about you? What helped you, like, kind of like, how did you manage stress, like the workload, the academic life? What helped you cope in university? Oh, yeah.
For me, it was surrounding myself by the people that I chose to surround myself with. I surrounded with people who are like-minded like me, who thought like me, people who understood that when it's time to work, it's time to work.
You know what you came here for.
And people who we had this group of us we had this task, but we also have this notion of we didn't come here to make friends. Fine, we found each other, but when we came here, we all had our aspiration and individual goals of what we want to accomplish and what we wanted to achieve. We should not let us being together stop us from that. You understand? So like whatever you do, whatever decision you make, it's on you. You are an adult, you are responsible for yourself. So I was the people that I chose to surround myself with. That helped me deal with stress, pressure, and also have fun sometimes, and but when we had to work, and we have to put in the work, and that's how we also had to we also helped each other a lot. Whereas one of our friends probably struggling in this sector, like we come through for him or her, like we educate each other also on things that we don't understand, and like we debate about it, we talk about it. You understand? Just to give each other like a proper perspective on what is actually happening,
a better understanding.
And also like when I was in high school, one of my teachers used to say like sometimes we should talk with each other because of people our age groups understand and listen better to when you speak to someone who looks and acts like you and is also like you, when you see yourself in that person. So when a friend comes to you, helps you solve a math problem, you understand, you get to listen more because he's gonna speak in your language. You understand, he's gonna speak the way you wanna you speak. He's gonna speak in a way that you wanna hear someone speak. You understand? So like one of my teachers once gave me that advice. Like sometimes we also need to speak to each other as learners.
That's related because my friend and I we studied like the same thing, so we do that together. Like we talk about what we discussed in class, discuss that, and then we also had this study room. So we literally just I used to study underneath the table, so I just be under the table.
Under the table.
I don't know. For me, it worked for me, and she would be in her corner there, sitting maybe there, like, she'd do whatever she does, and I would be in my own little space, and then we just write, study, whatever. Then wherever we get stuck, we just talk about it, like, just like, then we just like, so it helps that somebody from, like, your friend, so then you understand it much better. It's like when our coach basically, like when you just have a conversation about it. Yeah, so that simplifies the content also.
Yeah, for me also, in my group of friends that I had in college, so it was also the other thing, competitive. We were very competitive. We had a competitive nature.
So that fuels you guys to work
harder. It fueled us, and it wasn't negative competition. You understand? Whereby we.
I don't want her to.
I don't. Yeah. When she does better than me, I don't want to talk to you anymore. No, it wasn't like that competitive. It was like competitive. Like, if I beat you, you better come back next time and give me like a pressure, give me trick or something. You understand? So like we were very competitive also with each other. We like competing with each other because, and the other thing that we used to attend most of the classes together.
Yeah.
So that was nice also because then we would like even in classes with questions that were maybe answered or asked, like we were the competition was tight, like you wanted to answer it and you don't want to answer it only, you want to answer it right, you want to hit it on the nail, you want to be like get a lecturer's approval. So like that competitive nature of us also helped a lot because like because imagine if you are competitive with your friend, I don't want Ntabeling to beat me. You understand? So now we are both gonna succeed in some way because like if I'm sitting at home and just lazing around, I'm not studying, I'm not doing anything, I'm just eventually that person probably is doing the most damn studying, getting her notes into order, everything. You see, so like that competition also helped. And I was like, with ways of studying, we had like a study group, but then it didn't work.
Study groups, do they actually work?
Do study groups work, guys? Please let us know. We had a study group, but it didn't work. Because we had this one friend, she would write everything. Like she had us like a noteboard or something. She would write like there, like she like
her notes.
Yeah. And I had this friend, this other brother. He he would read that loud.
Okay.
It was destructive.
Was he reading his notes or the notes at the board?
No, like he would read his notes there, and then he would read like loud, man. So like, and that was like, bro, you very destructive.
You all have different study methods.
Yeah, now like someone likes peace and quiet. Now this one is here screaming on top of his lungs. So we didn't like that also. But mine was like, I like reading, and I would take a walk. I would take a walk and then I would like memorize things that I've read like as I'm walking, like and I'm walking and I'm walking, and then I challenge myself. It's basically I'm like just sitting, walking there, but I'm asking myself also questions in my head, and then I want to see like if I can answer them, if I can actually remember them. Yeah, so for me that also helped me. That's a nice one. That's actually what do you call it? A tip, a study tip. I'm putting you guys on right That's now. A study tip. So like that helped for me. Yeah. For me, I asked what helped you also get through like to university, like when like during the difficult moments. For me, was church, right? So my friends and I always went to church. We went to Hillsong, and it was like so it was like a student. So you were like those students. Like, I feel bad now because all of the things that I used to do was like I did the wrong things, man. I think I'm really grateful, and like shout out to you guys. I'm really grateful that I found the friends that I had. The right friends. Yes. So we used to like had with our support system. We had a support system, and we also leaned on church and just like God as a whole. So God we go to like God is a reason for everything. Is a reason for it kept us together, and it also kept the friendship together. Actually. Also. So we went every Sunday. We look forward to going to church. So we'd start our week with like going to church. So we go, we pray, whatever. If you know that exams are coming, you go there and you pray. And the nicest thing about this church is that we actually go literally to the front of the altar and you just kneel down, you pray, you cry, you do whatever you want to do. You let all that energy out of you. Exactly. So it made it very easy for us, like because no one is judging you, no one's looking at you because we are all doing our own things. So when we start the week, we start. You cannot judge people in church. Exactly. So also we're also all students, right? It was a student. It was like a student, like a couple facility or something. It was student. Come on, to call it not program, but like it was designed for students. It was designed for students, yes. Yeah. So we did that. So that also helped me like a lot. I also found friends at church, So yeah, that's what got me. I also had like this one friend, like shout out to her, because in the last year that we were there, I went through the most, and then she like leaned. I could lean on her, and she like leaned me to God. She was like, if it's hard, bruh, if you cannot talk to me, you should pray about it. You understand? Because if you cannot express yourself, like pray about it. Even if you have to cry about it, just cry about it, pray about it, heal yourself, and come back and do the most again, and not suffer. Because I've seen literally students succumb to academic pressure. I've literally seen that. I've literally seen students deregistering because of they couldn't keep up anymore. They couldn't keep up with the workload. They couldn't keep up with the stress about it. Some of the kids even got anxiety, depression because of the workload. Like, you understand? So it's not always about going to tertiary. It's not always about the upside of it, and there's also the downside and the downhill of it. Like if you are not focused enough, and I feel like also if you don't understand yourself as an individual, as a person, and what you want to achieve, and what your perspectives are, and if you don't set boundaries for yourself, you are gonna fall for a trap, and you are gonna go down with the people who succumb to all of these pressures because of you don't know what you want. Some people, I've met someone who was at college and he didn't even know what he was doing there. Like he literally didn't know what he was doing there. He just came because of they forced him to apply at home. So he never wanted to be there in the first place. So like for me, it's like before you also go, like And I know like taking a gap year is not the ideal thing to do, but I took a gap year after high school.
I don't know. I personally would say take a gap year so you can figure out what you want to do instead of going
Yeah,
to just tertiary just
because
for the sake
yeah,
of
for the
it because your
sake of,
parents are
because
forcing you
other
to
kids
go.
go for the parties. Let's not lie
Mm.
about it. Other kids go for the parties and for the vibes and for the influencer life and for the content and all that. They're not going for the right reasons. You need to also get yourself in order mentally. You need to be prepared for whatever lies ahead. Imagine going to a different city where you don't know people. You're gonna probably stay in someone's backyard.
Without having a plan.
You understand? You're probably gonna stay in someone's backyard where there is rooms. You're probably gonna rent a room somewhere. You're probably gonna stay in a flat somewhere. You're probably even gonna stay in a commune with a bunch of different people that you have never stayed with, and also like different personalities. So I took a gap year because of I didn't figure it quite out yet. And I didn't, and I, that gap year, when I was taking that gap year, I remember telling myself that it helped because I used to tell myself that, nah, tertiary life is not for me. I don't see myself doing that. I don't see myself there.
So it gave you like clarity in what you want
Clarity
to
of
do.
what I wanted to do and understanding of, and also the importance of knowing that I have to go to a college or university. I need to apply for something that's sustainable that I can lean on. You understand? Not just chase a pipeline dream. You understand? So I feel like taking a gap year, especially when you haven't figured it out for yourself yet, especially when you don't know, like, because I didn't know for what course even I was gonna apply for. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And also the other thing that held me back was also I had all these multiple things that I wanted to do. So I couldn't, and I was like taking a gap year. And after my gap year, I was like, nah, I figured it out. I know what I like now. I know what I want to do, and I know where I want to be, and I understand myself properly right now, and I understand what I want. So I was like, nah, I'm going there now. I'm ready. So I don't know about other people though, but I feel like for me personally,
it helped. Did you go to a different city?
No, I didn't go to a different
city. So you were in this. You were in Kimberley. Okay.
So because of other people, also here's the other thing: other people don't have the luxury of going to another place. Other people cannot afford going to another place. Also, you understand? Like we also need to take that into consideration and understand where other people come from. Also,
for me, like sitting where I am right now, I can say it really doesn't matter if you leave the city or not.
or
What matters is doing what you really love and enjoying it.
Have fun.
Have fun and growing also, because it doesn't matter where you are, you're gonna grow within the space.
And also, like the other thing, also like 20s is actually the prime of your life. This is where you should be in your prime now. You should be like,
that's what
you know,
this
is the this is the years where you should be, you know. But yeah, for certain people, they have it. Certain people are favored, highly favored, and they figured out and they get it. Other people are not.
I feel like some people are really lucky to have it figured out at the early stage.
Because I know someone who straight out of high school got a permanent job.
High school.
Straight out of high school with a matric, got a permanent job, and is still working that permanent job right now. So like some people are favored in that way. They are highly favored in that way. Some people are not. Some people go to tertiary, and then even after accumulating whatever they degree or certificate they did, they still sit at home and being unemployed. See, so like other people are favored, other people are not so highly favored, and I feel like other people also go to tertiary just for the sake of not
doing
having anything to do. Yeah.
But hey, man, to each their own, and we all have different. Our lives are not structured the same way. God has different plans for all of us. But have you ever faced any mental challenges while being in college?
I have gone through like a couple of mental breakdowns ish, not my brightest moments, but ish.
Yeah, it happens because it's academic pressure. Also, you're not used to it. Also, we are human. We have academic life or the academic stress. It's also like our family lives, and then there's also like your personal life. So you're trying to juggle all these things, and you're just one person, so it's not easy to do it. Exactly, it's not easy.
It's too much because, as you say, like you have your family life, you have your personal life, you have your academic life, and then you also have a life that you're trying to live, and then you also meet certain people that you're trying to build a life with. So that's it's a lot to juggle for one person, as you say. But For me, I feel like we should just hold on to God and hold on to our beliefs as people, like what you want, and like we all have our own individual purpose on earth, you understand? Like I feel like we should hold on to that. We shouldn't be drawn by all the things that we see, or like just because Ntabeleng is studying for teaching, don't now go there and also go apply for teaching when you feel like you want to do business, something in business. Like go with what your strength is and what you're good at. Don't go for
oh, because
my
no,
friend
Pimela
is
is my friend,
yeah,
yes, and he's
now
doing engineering. I'm also gonna
I'm
do
also
it.
gonna do engineering, you understand? Like what if now you're not good at engineering and engineering is showing you flames
When
there?
you write exams, you're writing those exams by yourself.
By yourself, like because I remember this also, like when my friends, some of them didn't make it. They failed certain things out there. Hey guys, I'm not saying bad things about you.
In tertiary.
Yeah, they didn't, and then some of us we got through it. You understand? Like, and then it was like some of them were like, yeah, you guys are snakes. You guys like study, and we all together. And then I used to tell my friends this. I still advise this, guys. Whatever you do in your individual space is up to you. If you are maybe at your room where you rent it, or you at your house, and you sit in your room and you're not doing anything, and you know you're writing an exam tomorrow, whatever you're doing as an individual in your individual space, it's on you.
It's on you.
Don't come here if you fail the exam, you blame the other people. Like even if we go out, we both adults, we know that we're writing tomorrow, and then we tell me let's go have a few drinks, and we go have a few drinks, and then I sleep, and I woke up around, let's say 12 or 1, and I just go through my work again, and you sleep throughout, and then you just go right at 10 and you come back. Like whatever you do in your individual space, it's up to you. Like you need to take the initiative of saying, "Yeah, man, I'm writing tomorrow. I'm gonna hit my books right now. I'm getting off the phone. I'm getting off the TV. I'm just gonna go into my books. I'm just gonna study." Like, and I feel like also like, especially now with the generation that we in, we are easily influenced, and we are influenced even over our phones. Something that we see even over our phone can influence our real life and actual life and the way that we live. So like I just feel like we need to choose where we want to be. We need to choose what we want. You cannot have it all. That is like the truth. We cannot have it all, and you cannot have multiple things at the same time. So you need to choose. If you want to be a student, be a student.
They say there's a time for everything.
There's a time for everything. If you're a student, be a student. If you want to be a person in entrepreneur space, be that. If you want to be a model, be that. Now, like, I'm not saying that you cannot have your side hustles and your whatever, like, whatever you.
Because as a student,
you need something, you understand. You also, and as a student, I feel like you need money most of the time. So, like, you do whatever you do, but you also need to have your prime goal in mind. As a student, you understand.
Remember why you
there in the first place. If you are studying, maybe let's say in Joburg, and you're getting fascinated by the culture in Joburg, you should not sidetrack yourself and lose sight of your prime goal. What actually got you there? Why are you there in the first place? You were there because of tertiary, because of school. You understand? You should have your prime goal and focus also on your prime goal. Make time for your prime goal and set. If you have time for all these other things that you can do, cool, man.
Have you ever had like a broke student life moment? Like a time where maybe you surviving on noodles, or what's your broke student meal that you've ever had?
Yeah, man. Fat cakes and archer.
Okay.
Fat cakes and archer.
My friend and I used to do this thing where we'd go, like there was a shop, right? So we'd buy there was a mall opposite from where we stayed. So we went to get like bread, and then we get Coke as well. And then we'd go to the shop, and then we'd buy like Divarama chips. So we'd have like Divarama chips with
what's your broke meal?
Yes, bakery.
Divarama chips are your broke meal. Do you know someone's dinner? Someone's dinner at some point. You said that's your broke meal.
It was.
Some people have it soft out here, guys. They have it soft
But
here.
I think also, let's talk about it actually. The thing that helped us to have Divarama chips as broke meals was because we budgeted. When it comes to finances, we were also always like very strict, you know. So budgeting, I think, helps. So that's what gave it. We were trained. So budgeting helped. That's why maybe we had like.
Yeah, that's another thing also that most students are. What I'm seeing, like what most students don't have it have it figured out. It's budgeting and understanding
how to handle their
how to handle
finances.
their finances. We spoke about, or we can get about the financial aid problems, but also like we need to touch on also like the fact that some students don't know how to handle money.
If you get money, how are you? What do you do?
What are you gonna do with the money?
You can't get money today on the
understand?
first, and then by the end of
The
the week you don't have money.
You don't have money.
Because why did you spend it on alcohol, clothes? Like you have to buy. You can still buy maybe this month. Maybe go to whatever shop and buy yourself just the t-shirt this month. Next month you can buy the jean, and you know it's about
or 2 t-shirts this month. Next month,
yeah, it's about budgeting, knowing what to do with your money, and then if you decide to buy clothes, say no, I'm not going to the restaurant this week. You know, I'm gonna spend it on clothes and whatever. Like have things that you know that okay, I'm gonna sacrifice this in order for me to have this. You know?
Yeah, because I've met a couple of students who sacrificed going out rather than buying food even. And I'm like, bro, how are you gonna survive the whole month without grocery?
I know, like, maybe that's why I also had money, because I didn't remember I said I didn't prioritize my fun life that much. So because I didn't go out that much, I had enough money to just throw in a little bit for this. So also, yeah, going out less helps you save money. You know, so then you have more money to just do some things.
Like also like some students don't even know this. Like if you have like money and you get, if you have the funding and your funding is being allocated and you get the money and you're not really aware of what to do with the money or how to use the money and like how to navigate how you're gonna need this money, where's your needs and what's your wants,
how to allocate your funds.
You can also go to the bank that you're on and literally ask for financial advice. They can give you financial. Is it free? They can. I don't know if it's free, but I remember there was a certain bank. They were going around to different universities, and then they were asking students how do they spend their money, are they money wise, and they were also teaching students how to be money wise. You understand? And there also, I remember also when I was in college, like there were certain banks that would come into the college, and then they set those tents out there, and then they would ask students to make a card. Like those people can also advise you on financial aid and how to be money wise. You understand? It's like I feel like also with students there are also a lot of discounts, student discounts that are like different shops also have the student discounts. You know, like I also like I don't think like most of us are so aware of it. You understand?
We're not aware, yeah.
We're not aware of it, and we don't ask also. Like we just go there, we just rock, and we just do whatever we want to do, and then we do. And like also like the nightlife don't, it's not that important. Guys, it's not an groove is not as important.
You still have time to
you
groove.
Still have your time to groove and do your things that you want to do, but we would like to see people accomplish like great things that they set out, like, and also like there's a lot of pressure. You go there when you're at varsity or colleges out there, you don't only go there for you, also represent your family.
There's a lot of pressure.
There's a lot of pressure because now your mom, your dad, your cousins, your uncle, they are all sitting there, may probably believing in you. I know not everyone has that support.
They're counting on you. Hey, mama's gonna come back home with this degree, the first doctor in the family. There's a lot of pressure.
So like speaking about that, for you, like what's your point on support for students, like especially from families?
Okay.
What's your take on that?
I would say also in university there are, or like most university or college or tertiary institutions have support, right? Some of them have like mental health support, some of them do have, like I said, even like they have these events that they hold on campus for students. Like they have these banks who come for financial advice and all of that. And at home, what I would just say is that the support that they can receive at home is just try and be honest with your family. Be honest maybe with your
parents. Where you stand or what's going on.
Yeah, if you have someone who's been to university, lean on them. Maybe your cousins, your siblings.
What if you're the first one? What if you're breaking generational curses out there?
That's a lot of pressure. Okay, maybe then it's your time to educate them. Just let them in on it. Make them part of the experience.
But that means you're gonna go through the most.
Yeah, but explain to them that hey, you know, I'm the first person to go to university. I know that I'm honored, maybe. Yeah, I'd be like, but sometimes it's it's really hard for me to do this, and this is what's happening. Da, 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 da. And also, I feel like it's also gonna be difficult for them to understand if they haven't been in that space. So how do you provide support for somebody if you haven't really been in that space? Exactly.
I understand your feeling.
But maybe just explaining to them, letting them in on the experience, just making them part of the experience. Tell them, this is what's happening. This is what happens in university. Help, like, try and get them to understand what it's really like instead of glamorizing it. Be like, hey, it's very nice, and I enjoy
But
some
also
classes, but this is
realistic.
also, yeah, this
Be
is
the
also what's
realistic,
happening.
like the downside where most people don't want to talk about it. You also have to be realistic about what goes on at these places.
Because also, as like a black person, it becomes very hard to cry at home or to like to lean on somebody. To just be vulnerable and honest and be like, yo, yeah, class young coward to do. I want to quit school. It's not doing it. It's very hard, but some people are really just blessed to have supportive family members.
Some people don't actually. Some people, they have, like, you get like someone is there out there in tertiary and they don't actually have support from anyone from home. No one is there for them. They're there by themselves.
Doing it by themselves.
They're doing that by themselves. Like, we should. It's not always about. It's not everyone who's there. There's big support from home. Some of them, even their own parents, they don't even actually care about it. Some of them, their parents, the actual parents, don't even want them to go there. They didn't even want them to be there in the first place. So some people are really just going through the most of us. Sometimes we also need to step out in the world and stop being so stuck in our own lives. You understand? Sometimes we just have to go outside of the world and observe the world and see what's going on outside and the places and spaces that we go to and where we live. Some people are really struggling out here also. Some people don't have that support.
Some people don't.
Because I remember with me at college, I used to lean on my lecturers a lot, especially the ones that I had a good relationship with and I had a good understanding.
So you had a close relationship with them?
Not very close, but I could come if I'm feeling academic pressure in a certain course probably that I'm taking or a certain lecture, I can go to that lecture. Most of them I built like a type of bond with them whereby I can come for them for help, or I can ask help from them. I don't need to shy away or like. And some of them would even some of my lecturers would even pick it up, and they would be like, "Hey, you are slacking lately. Your marks are dropping and dipping. Like, we don't understand what's going on." Some of them they did, like, when I was going through that down spare or when I was really feeling the pressure, they did also like approach me and be like, "What's going on? Like, we are noticing a different behavior in you."
But like, sorry, was your class, how big was your class?
It was not that big.
So they knew your names.
We knew each other. We
I would
even
be so
knew
scared.
each
My
other.
lecturer knew my name, and I'm sitting there. Okay, well, they
For me, it
did
was
some
even
of them,
more
but not
pressure
all of
because
them.
like all of them knew me. I couldn't bunk. There was times when my friends used to bunk.
Exactly.
I couldn't do that.
When you bunk now, they know that you were not
Everyone
there.
knew me.
My
All
lecturer did that once.
Everyone.
He was like, I noticed that you weren't here this morning. And the worst part was I sat in front. I was literally here. And every morning, So I was like,
I'm also
sir?
that. You understand? I'm that student. I'm too talkative and I'm too loud. So when I'm not there, you notice. You can notice that I'm not there. And also like the sitting arrangement. I didn't have a place to sit in class.
Where did you sit?
I said wherever I wanted to sit.
You were like,
if I feel like today I'm in the middle, I'm in the center. And I'm like, I'm the heart of the class. I'm in the center today. And if I feel like I'm at the back, I'm at the back. Like if I'm at the front, I didn't. And I always used to like there's one girl I used to fight with every time because of that. And in classes, and be like seats, and I'm like, how like I finish
I would tell them, you are wrong. Yes, no, you are
wrong. You come and finish at them.
You are right.
If I sit there, if you sit here by the door today, and I choose to sit in that position tomorrow, it's not your place. You didn't come with a place here.
It's not, but it become like a comfort space, you know?
Find your comfort space in everywhere. So like for me, that was I had my lecturers that I could depend on, and I could speak to them, and then I had a close relationship with them. I had an open relationship with them also, but not like the private stuff all in my life.
Okay, yes,
like,
just
academics. Like academics, yeah. So
that
I could talk with them, and also like the college used to host this thing, watermelon day, in the summer. So they would stock like bunch of watermelons. So like we used to have like it was a distress. Oh, okay, type of thing, like for for lecturers and students to all come together and play all types of games with these watermelons, like rolling the watermelon. See who finished first.
Oh, when you said watermelon, I thought you eat only. You also play games.
Yeah, you also play games with the watermelon. You eat the watermelon. Like also, you can take it also home if you want to take it home. Like you understand, if you want to take it to your room where you rent. You can also do that. Like so, it would, like they would stock like a bunch of watermelons, and that was one of the unique things that the college used to do for us also.
That's right. Okay, if you had one advice or advice that you could give to your first year self, what did you say to them? Imagine your younger version of you watching. What did you say to young Pimeno?
I would say stop stressing about the future and be active and participate in the present life that you live in. I would give that advice to my younger self.
Yeah, no, felt. I would also say the same thing. I would say enjoy your life, yeah, bruv. Enjoy your life.
What's coming is
have
coming.
fun. Go out.
It will its time. What coming is
yeah,
is
go
coming.
out, but also don't forget why you here, but also have fun. Yeah, because you don't know if you'll make it through university or not. Yeah, any last remarks before we leave?
Hey, man, I just want to say, everyone that's watching this, please take care of yourselves. Please, and if you're a student, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams, no matter who doesn't or does believe in you. Even if it's your own parents who don't believe in you, keep going, keep pushing, keep breaking all the rules. Strive, aim high, and I would also like to tell you guys who would also when you're young, I would also want to. I wish I had this advice for myself, guys. I'm putting you guys on now. When you're young, chase your wildest dreams while you're young. Chase your wildest dreams. That wildest dream that you have, that people say, it's far fetched. Chase it while you're young. You might never know what might happen, because when you're old, you're not gonna have the time or the resources or the opportunity to do it. So if you wanna be an actor, a model, whatever you wanna do while you're still young, chase your wildest dreams while you're young.
Yeah, for me, I just want to say, don't forget why you went to the college or institution that you are currently, and have fun, live a little, whatever happens after happens, just enjoy your life, bruv. Enjoy your life. And yeah, that's it for me. I have nothing else to say.
Yeah, this has been our safe space. We'll see you on another one. Peace out.
Bye.